Have you ever wondered how Venus, our neighboring planet, might feel like a heavyweight wrestling champion? Picture this. Venus, with an atmospheric pressure 92 times that of Earth. It's like having a pile of nearly 1,000 kilograms resting on your shoulders. Here on Earth, atmospheric pressure affects everything from weather patterns to the very existence of life. Well, it's all about the atmospheric pressure, folks. Venus ain't no lightweight, but let's dive in and see why. Venus, often called Earth's evil twin, is famous for its atmospheric pressure that could squash you like a bug. Now, that might sound a bit extreme, but it's not far from the truth. Imagine the weight of 50 ocean liners pressing down on you. That's what you'd experience on the surface of Venus, thanks to the planet's atmospheric pressure being a staggering 92 times greater than Earth's. The atmosphere of Venus is primarily composed of carbon dioxide with clouds of sulfuric acid. That's right, sulfuric acid. Not exactly the kind of weather you'd want to get caught in without an umbrella. This dense blanket of gases acts like a pressure cooker, trapping heat and creating a greenhouse effect that makes Venus the hottest planet in our solar system. Comparing Venus to our home planet, Earth's atmosphere is like a thin sheet, while Venus's is more like a heavy quilt. This thickness is the reason why the surface of Venus is shrouded in mystery, hidden beneath a thick veil of yellowish clouds. But what does this extreme atmospheric pressure mean for the planet's surface and weather patterns? Well, the pressure is so intense that it has flattened mountains and valleys, creating a surface that's more pancake than rugged. And as for the weather, Venus has an incredibly slow rotation, spinning around once every 243 Earth days. This means that the planet's weather patterns are not driven by the rotation as on Earth, but by the intense heat and pressure. The result, a constant swirling storm of sulfuric acid rain and hurricane-force winds that can whip up to 200 miles per hour. So, Venus is not just Earth's evil twin, it's also the ultimate pressure cooker, a world where the weather forecast is always hot with a chance of acid rain. It's a fascinating place, but one that's not particularly welcoming to visitors. So if you're planning a vacation to Venus, better pack your pressure suit. Imagine popping into a pressure cooker for a quick visit. That's Venus for you. Now, you may ask, what does our pressure cooker analogy have to do with the planet Venus? Well, let's dive into the details. Just like a pressure cooker, Venus is known for its extreme atmospheric pressure. But instead of cooking your favorite stew, Venus's pressure is cooking up a heated and thick atmosphere. The atmospheric pressure on Venus is about 92 times that of Earth's. To put it into perspective, it's like being a kilometer underwater, quite a squeeze, isn't it? But why is Venus so much like a pressure cooker? The answer lies in its high temperature and the greenhouse effect. Venus's surface temperature averages around 467 degrees Celsius. To give you an idea, that's hotter than the surface of Mercury, which is closer to the Sun. That's right, Venus holds the title for the hottest planet in our solar system. Now let's talk about the greenhouse effect, which plays a crucial role in Venus's high pressure. The greenhouse effect is a natural process where certain gases in a planet's atmosphere trap heat, preventing it from escaping into space. On Earth, this process is beneficial, keeping our planet warm enough to support life. However, on Venus, it's a whole different ballgame. Venus's atmosphere is primarily composed of carbon dioxide, a potent greenhouse gas. This thick layer traps heat from the sun, leading to a runaway greenhouse effect. The heat has nowhere to escape, causing the temperature and pressure on Venus to skyrocket. So the next time you're cooking dinner with your handy pressure cooker, remember that Venus is essentially doing the same thing, but on a planetary scale. Venus is not just a pressure cooker, it's a pressure cooker on overdrive. It's the cosmic chef of our solar system, cooking up a storm of high pressure and temperature. So, Venus is essentially a pressure cooker on steroids, not the most hospitable place, eh? Fancy living on Venus? Well, you might want to reconsider. As we've previously explored, Venus, our celestial neighbor, is swathed in a thick, toxic atmosphere with pressure 92 times greater than Earth's. That's like being a kilometer deep in our oceans, and it has some serious implications for any potential life forms or human explorers. Firstly, let's talk about the potential life forms. The high pressure and temperature of Venus's atmosphere create conditions similar to those found in a pressure cooker. This means that any life on Venus would need to be able to withstand not just extreme heat, but also crushing pressure. To our knowledge, there's no life form on Earth that could survive in such conditions. So, if there's life on Venus, it would have to be unlike anything we've ever encountered. Now, what about us humans? Well, the human body is pretty resilient, but the atmospheric pressure on Venus would be a whole new ballgame. Our bodies are designed to operate under Earth's atmospheric pressure, and a drastic increase in pressure could have some pretty unpleasant effects. For starters, it could cause nitrogen in our blood to form bubbles, leading to a condition similar to the bends that divers experience. Not a pleasant prospect, right? And it's not just our bodies that would struggle. Our equipment would also have a tough time. The pressure would wreak havoc on electronics and mechanical systems, making it incredibly challenging to design and build equipment that could function in such an environment. But despite these challenges, the idea of exploring Venus is not entirely off the table. We just need to be creative and innovative in our approach. Perhaps we could develop pressure-resistant suits or build floating cities in the more forgiving upper layers of Venus's atmosphere. Who knows? The possibilities are as vast as the universe itself. So, if you're still keen on moving to Venus, you might be a bit more compressed than you'd like. But don't let that stop you from dreaming. After all, it's our curiosity and daring that propel us into the cosmos. If Venus and Earth were to have an atmospheric pressure showdown, who do you think would win? Now that's a tantalizing question, isn't it? Let's roll up our sleeves and dive into it. First, let's talk about Earth, our home, sweet home. Earth's atmospheric pressure at sea level is about 14.7 pounds per square inch. That's roughly the weight of an elephant standing on a postage stamp. Sounds intense, doesn't it? But it's this pressure that creates a hospitable environment for life as we know it. It allows water to exist in all three states, solid, liquid, and gas, and plays a crucial role in weather phenomena. The pressure also helps protect us from harmful cosmic radiation. Essentially, it's like Earth's own protective blanket, keeping us warm, safe, and alive. Now, let's jump over to Venus, our inhospitable neighbor. Venus has an atmospheric pressure 92 times greater than Earth's. Imagine 92 elephants on that same postage stamp. That's a whole lot of pressure. This intense pressure, combined with a surface temperature hot enough to melt lead, makes Venus one of the most hostile environments in our solar system. The high pressure creates a dense carbon dioxide-rich atmosphere, resulting in a runaway greenhouse effect that keeps Venus toasty at around 866 degrees Fahrenheit. Not exactly the place for a summer vacation, huh? So, in an atmospheric pressure showdown, it's clear that Venus has the upper hand, at least in terms of sheer force. But when it comes to creating conditions suitable for life, Earth is the undisputed champion. Venus's intense pressure and hostile conditions serve as a stark reminder of how special and delicate our Earth truly is. Earth wins hands down, folks, but it's always good to know what the competition looks like, right? Despite its extreme pressure, Venus still holds a certain allure for scientists. This fascination has led to a number of planned missions, each aiming to peel back another layer of Venus's enigmatic atmosphere. Currently, NASA's Veritas and Da Vinci Plus missions are slated to launch towards the end of the decade. Veritas aims to understand Venus's geological history, while Da Vinci Plus will plunge into the planet's thick atmosphere, gathering data on its composition. The European Space Agency also has their eyes set on Venus with the Envision mission. It's set to launch in the early 30s, and plans to study Venus's geology and atmosphere using radar and other instruments. But let's not forget, Venus isn't exactly a welcoming host. Its atmosphere is like a pressure cooker cranked up to 11. The high pressure and temperature pose significant challenges to these missions. But like a good Yorkshire pudding recipe, scientists are rising to the occasion. They're developing heat-resistant materials and electronics that can withstand Venus's harsh conditions. They're also exploring creative solutions like airships or drones that could float above the most intense pressures. The road ahead is fraught with challenges. But as we've seen in our exploration of space, challenges often lead to the most profound discoveries. And who knows, maybe one day, we'll even find a way to make Venus feel a little more like home. Venus, with its crushing pressure, is no walk in the park, but that doesn't mean we're giving up on uncovering its mysteries.